Welcome. This is The Kick On, a Consouls podcast, episode number 3, live from two countries, Japan and Australia. I'm joined by Julian, this lovely gentleman in the middle here with a snare drum the size of your head. That's Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Hello, how's it going?
And the man on the far left, whose lighting makes it look like Mum's told him to go to bed and he's like recording from underneath the sheets. That's Tim. How you doing, Tim?
Hey, what's up, everyone?
So before we get started, a bit of housekeeping in regards to Super Monday Jam this month. We had a venue issue, so the way that's going to be going down this month, at some point in May, we'll be recording the April episode as a makeup. But if you decide not to decide not to re-up your pledge for May, we will still send you the link so you can catch it live. But the venue had some issues on their end, so we had to reschedule that. So if you'll still get your rewards regardless of whether or not you're up in May, but you're going to have to bear with us a little bit as we figure out how to do it. But otherwise, yeah, stay tuned for a double dose of that at some point and an hour of some Consouls podcasts now.
That's what we're kicking off with. Kicking on.
Man, you didn't even do it right. Come on.
Yeah. I'll get that episode right. No, I'll get the title of the podcast right by the end of the year.
We're going to kick a podcast onto internet. We actually haven't done it anyway yet. I still got to get the artwork for that. So sorry if you want to watch the audio, listen to the audio version. We're working on it, but we'll get it up. How are you guys enjoying Golden Week in Australia? You having a nice Golden Week?
I had a good Golden Week.
I hate Golden Week, dude. Oh my! I'll tell you about my Golden Week experience. It's like the Japanese. It's been what? We've made it a good 2 minutes into this episode, and I'm allowed to start complaining about Japan. So Golden Week is like one of those things where the government's like, all right, you guys have to take a day off. We can't have any more meltdowns. Like you just go to bed. So everyone takes a holiday at the same time
for a week.
Well, it's like 10 days. It's technically this week to the following Monday, May 7th or whatever it is. But to sort of put it into perspective of how cooked everything gets, I went to Mount Fuji 2 days ago and just hang out in the area there. We took 2 buses and all up. So we left to catch like the first bus out at 7:30. We got on that bus at 7:45. All right. It's a good time to be outside. I gotta tell you. So we did that, and we were meant to do some stuff last night, and we were getting our bus back from. We went to Nagano. It was really beautiful. Like there's still sakura around up there, so we did all sorts of touristy rubbish. Our bus back was scheduled for 6:30 p.m. At 10:45 a.m., I got a message saying, "Yo, your bus is delayed." At 10:45 a.m., there was one bus. There had been one bus that was meant to have gone by 10:45. It had not shown up, and they're like, "Yo, your bus is late," and they weren't lying. They weren't lying.
I mean that's service for you. They're letting you know how many hours ahead of time that your bus is going to be late.
It's impending doom for like half the day. I'd rather get stressed out like 10 minutes before and there's nothing I can do, but you have to worry about it.
Yeah, but then the bus is going to be late, so you just plan, well, the bus is going to be late. I have extra time to do stuff.
So we got to the terminal. We got to the terminal on time because we don't know how late. It was 3 degrees and raining, and this elderly gentleman called up the bus company, and we're like, all right, here we go. This is going to be a punch-on. This is going to be a punch-on over the phone. This is going to be sick. And he calls them up, and he's like, hey, what's up? The bus is late. And I don't know, I wasn't on the other side of the line, but I'm assuming they went, yep, it's definitely late. And he's like, well, do you know what time it's going to get here? And you can tell he's getting like more and more angry. I'm like, oh, here we go. There's going to be a punch on. And it's like, oh, an hour, huh? I'm like, oh, that's it. He's going to snap. He's like, oh, well, it's not your fault, but I hope you have a good evening regardless. We'll just see with the bus when it gets here. And then he hung up the phone. And I'm like, what? Then he stands up. So there's a bus terminal, right? He stands up on the seat at the bus terminal. There's like 30 people waiting in on this bus. He goes, everyone, I have an announcement. I'm like, oh, God. He goes, the bus is late. I'm like, all right, thank you very much. It's like, it will be here in an hour. I suggest you go get some snacks. Everyone remain calm. The bus will come soon. And he got off the seat and he just walked off. And
wait, who's this?
Just this random old guy at the bus terminal waiting to get on the bus. He was like in a full suit, just like, I don't know, that's what his plans were for the day, to just get on the bus. So we went off, we came back, we get back on the bus. Like his job's done. He's called up the company. We're all on the bus. He goes, everyone. I'm like, oh, what? Well, the bus is here. What do you want? He goes, did you have a good break? I'm like, oh my, are you the teacher on the school trip, man? What is this bus trip? And then like 4.5 hours later, we got home.
Yeah, right. That
But-
guy is a man of the people.
But it was so wholesome. Like you were just expecting the punch on like the Golden Week. Everyone's angry. Everyone's like, man, I was about to do some untimely things to myself anyway because of work. Now I'm stressed because of Golden Week. But no, it was just wholesome. It was a good bus trip, but I had Wi-Fi. I love Japan. Like, we could talk about Japan banks. I'm pretty sure we've talked about Japanese banks, but Wi-Fi on buses, man, like. That makes the delays sort of go a bit quicker, I got to tell you.
Yeah, well, you know, like I'm pretty sure Queensland has Wi-Fi on their trains, but granted, Wi-Fi in Australia in general is pretty bad. I'm assuming Wi-Fi on a Japan bus is probably better than NBN in Australia.
It was serviceable. Like I was watching Twitch at like 720/30s. That's not too bad. That's kind of ridiculous, actually. Like I'm talking about a bus, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. Like 720 on a bus, yeah, it's pretty good.
You can do Splatoon ranking game.
I was definitely playing Fantasy Life Mobile. So should we segue into what we've been doing this week? Because I've got the sickness I got to tell everyone about.
Sure. Just before we go into that, is Golden Week the actual term, or is this a Gamra term?
No, it's called Golden Week.
Okay, I wasn't sure because like moon runes and all that kind of stuff.
Moon runes. Oh my goodness! I got to give a shout out to that poor. There's like an actual Japanese person in the Discord, and what did I say this morning? It was like we were weaving out. We were talking Japanese in the general chat. And I'm like, all right, we got a Japanese channel on Discord. By the way, you should join the Consouls Discord if you haven't. Just it'll be there. Google it. It's in the YouTube description. Just find it. So they're like, hi, I can't speak English. I'm like, don't worry, I can't speak Japanese. Just watch. And then I'm like, hey, we should put our moon discussion in the Japanese channel. And she's like, okay, I can speak Japanese or moon in that channel. I'm like, all right, not everyone knows this joke. Not everyone understands this joke.
Oh man, I haven't caught up on the general chat yet.
That's great.
That sounds good.
But no, we'll probably meet her at the gig. IRL.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
But before we talk about the gigs, because there's a reason why you're here in Japan, let's talk about garbage we've been doing this week, starting with the ultimate garbage. I've been playing... So I think I mentioned last time that I was streaming a bit of Fantasy Life on 3DS, and that sickness sort of took over. I'm going to skip ahead here on the stream. And that sort of kicked over, and I've been playing the mobile version Fantasy Life Mobile, which is essentially exactly the same as the 3DS version, but it's all online. So it's all instance, meaning it's not like one big world. You have to like go into the missions or whatever and spend stamina like you'd expect in a phone game, but the world is like 1-to-1 the same as the 3DS version. You got your 12 jobs. The mini games are the same for like the when you're cooking, you still do the same stuff. When you're making weapons, you're doing the same stuff. Like it's pretty accurate, and in some ways it's better than the 3DS version, which is not meant to be a ringing endorsement of the phone game, but rather a realization to me of how bad the 3DS game was.
Bad but good.
It might as well be a clicker as far as I'm concerned. It's like a very wholesome looking clicker. The numbers go up, but you're not really doing very much.
Do you feel rewarded?
I mean, I do, because I'm reading like really fundamental level Japanese, but if this was in English, I'd be like, actually I'd still be playing it because I'm rubbish. But that's been taking up way too much of my time, to be perfectly frank. And what I plan to do with that is I'm gonna, because there's not really much coverage of it in English, so I'm just gonna just record a series of videos of like, all right, this is what it is. I played it so you don't have to. That's it. Get it. Like, move on. We're done here, everyone. Pack it up. So it's been good. I've been really deep diving into like the Japanese iOS store and like the Japanese PSN store to see what sort of garbage is on there, and oh boy, there's some real garbage on there that I'll be diving into on stream over the next few weeks. So this garbage phone game has been taking up most of my time. I think the archive of that's still up on Twitch. Otherwise, I'll tweet out once I've done the video series on that. But that's been taking up most of my time.
So are we expecting some sort of regular Gamra Nihongo content?
Oh yeah, like I don't know how regular, but I've got a backup of like. I mean, I talked about this last episode. We haven't started it officially yet, but like, there's the pachinko game. I want to try Dragon Quest X, the MMO. There's like a ton of games, and now that Golden Week is sort of in the swing of things, I'll use this as a pilot and sort of go off that. But man, there's some real garbage, eh?
Yeah, I'm sure there is, man.
Well,
Anyway, that's what I've been doing. Just 10 rolling my life away. What's everyone else been doing?
Maki.
nothing much. I went to see Snarky last week, actually, when they were in Sydney. I just remembered.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
How was the
not
gig?
too bad. It was pretty good. It's at the end more. So it's a lot of their new stuff,
Yeah.
not much of their old, but still, like, yeah, of course, like the quality was super good. But
Did you go last year at the MO, or was it just you just went with us to
No.
Bluebeam, right?
yeah, only that one. I didn't go last year, unfortunately.
That's all right. I heard, yeah, because like I think as of late they started bringing more of their B tier band.
Yeah, a little bit. It felt a little bit like that. If I could visibly see that, some people, were a little, I don't know, what's the word for it? Not B tier. It's just like swinging it a bit, like we do normally. But I could,
For all our
I could tell.
for all our regular songs and content, we wing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know what winging it looks like, and that some of it was winging it.
If you want to
so-
know winging it, just watch the last few our YouTube channel.
Were you just like munching on popcorn when you saw someone wing it? You're like, hey, read the chart. And then just like kept munching on whatever you're reading. That's not what that says.
I know what that facial expression is.
the man who is completely lost and is hoping for an exit can't find one.
That reminds me, like, I remember the first time that Gamra, because I think in the band Gamra was the last person to meet Jono, and I was like, oh, I've got this guitarist you should meet. He's pretty good. He's like, oh, all right, bring him to rehearsal. So we had him for rehearsal for Play Bar, right? And then I gave him a rough set list, yeah, of like, oh, these are probably tunes we're gonna play. He rocks up to Gamra's house, and then, like, us, the whole band, like, we're getting our iPads and charts, and some of it is, like, memorized. Like, and he's adding parts to it. And Gamra's like, I like him. Keep him.
I mean,
like this
compared to like some other gigs we've had where it's like, all right, everyone, here's a folder through the set list numbered chronologically. It comes with a free pack of mints when you download it. And then some people still, like, no one on this call, but some people show up to the gig and it's like, yeah, I don't have any charts. And it's like, I'm gonna go. Come on, man, just download the charts. That's why I was like, when Jono did it, I was like, mate, you're all right.
Already passed the first step.
If you get Gamra's approval, that's already at the top.
Oh, he was like, I swear, like, I think it was when Jono came to Japan, probably when I first moved here. So, like, well, not when I first moved here, but like January last year. We were like sitting, because it was New Year's Day and we're wandering around. We're like, why are you here on New Year's Day? Nothing is open. Like, you've literally picked the one day of the year there is nowhere we can go. We wandered around Shinjuku. We couldn't find anywhere to sit. And he's like, we were sitting in some, like, Yayoi or something, some, like, really bad chain restaurant that I shouldn't take tourists, but anything. Anyway, he's like, man, you really gave off an aura the first time I met you. I'm like, well, what do you mean? It's like, it's like, it's just like, I wasn't trying to impress you, but I was, like, trying to impress you. I'm like, that's dumb. I'm like, oh, no, I actually, hang on. I think I get it now. But, man, we got to get him on one of these things. Because he could almost be like the commentary track of the Consouls. Like, he's part of the Consouls, but, like, he's almost, like, half looking in. Like, he could be the commentary track on, like, the actual band. Or the rest of the band, I should say.
You have, like, differing opinion.
It's like when in the special features of films, you can watch the film with commentary in the background. Kind of like that.
But instead of commentary, it's like translation because no one knows what the hell we're talking about half the time.
Yeah,
Adds more value.
for sure.
But yeah, all right.
Speaking of though, I do have to admit, I do love the fact that technology is so good. You can just like airdrop charts on the fly. To me that's amazing. It's just like, oh shit, I need
How
this
many
chart.
times has that happened on the gig, man?
I've
Yeah,
done it mid-song. Like, there have been people who've looked at me, and it's like, Yeah, actually, I don't know the changes for the solo section. It's like, all right, and then I'm like hoping we stay on one of the 4 chords where my open strings are while I'm like airdropping, like screenshot airdrop.
You did that to me at our last gig, like at Peaches.
With Peaches, oh my
You did it.
God.
Like I didn't know what song. Like there was a song. I'm pretty sure it's from Game and Jazz, and for some reason I didn't have it like in my set list. And we started playing, and then you stopped playing for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, or maybe it was like a solo. I was talking or something, and mid thing, I just get this pop up like, Jono's iPad is sending you a chart. Accept decline. It's like, I'm in natural.
Oh my God! I bet you if you want to look back at the the playlist on YouTube, if you go look back at those hours of live content, I bet you could clip it somewhere. I bet you that's in there more than once. Like the look over of like, yo, and it's like, all right, just look around. All right, can you hold? Yep, all right, and then I go down. You know, I bet you could see that band interaction somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Like I know for sure, Infinite Azure. Like you know how we have that line.
That's
it's
what it
just
was.
like,
It was that. It was that.
Yeah, it was that
You
line.
said like we
And
were.
no
I
one
was soloing in that, and then all of a sudden I get this 2-bar. Like it was that. It actually, yeah. That's the song because
Yeah.
we never really had the line. No, you had the line transcribed.
Yeah, I remember because we came up with it. We had the chart and we're like, oh, how are we gonna end Infinite Azure? We were at my place. Johnno was sitting in the rehearsal. We're like, all right, how are we gonna finish this tune? And I think I said like, all right, well let's take the line and move it. And then you're like, all right, I'll move it. And then you open a new Sibelius file, and then it lived like that. So it was a separate file to the actual Infinite Azure part, which makes me think, is it in the Patreon folder? Hey, patrons, you should check this out. I don't know if it is.
I have a feeling it's not.
I have a feeling it's not, so I'll fix it.
It's definitely not in the request.
Yeah,
show.
it's definitely not in the charts folder for half the band, but it's literally a separate chart of 2 lines, and I think because like the whole band drops out and Julian starts soloing, and he looked at me, he's like, I'm like, yeah, there's a thing. I'm like, all right, I'll get it, and then
Yeah, that's
airdrop, ping, there we go. All right, we can end the song now.
Sometimes if songs don't end, it's because airdrop isn't working yet.
I hope it's in the. Patrons, I'm sorry if it's not in the folder. I'll just ping me. I'll fix it. Don't worry.
Maybe we should put in the request show just a separate song, the ending of Infinite Azure.
Yeah. Oh man, classic.
So what is that? It, Mark? When's the Oh, dude, we should tell that story about the comment section from last episode. So, if you didn't catch last episode, we put out a thing. Well, I think I said something dumb along the lines of press 1 in the comments if you think Mark is a superstar streamer or some dumb thing like that. So then we post the episode, and then we start getting comments on the video. I'm like, it's just 1, 1, 1. I'm like, oh no, what did I say? I said I completely forgot it. Anyway, the point is, there were plenty of 1s, Mark, and the 1s equal Mark is superstar streamer. So, what do you got to say for yourself?
Oh, well.
What are you doing
I don't
tonight?
know what that means. Oh, going to bed. Oh.
After this podcast, is that what's happening?
Getting gear for streaming.
Streaming?
Maybe?
What are you going to be?
Ooh.
Wait, what do you mean? Tell me more.
Oh, well, I may be streaming some games in the very near future.
Wait.
Possibly
Are you a
under-
gamer?
Oh,
See, that has no context for.
I think no, it did. I think we did it right on the first or second episode. I feel like we've told that story.
I don't know.
I don't think it's
honestly
public.
All right, well, that's even better if it's not public because that just makes it funnier for us and no one else. Take that, gamers.
Gamer.
yeah. Speaking of
man.
gamers,
Richard Gamer.
yeah, Dr. Richard Gamer.
We definitely told that story, or maybe it was on Don's podcast. I don't know.
No,
It's
no,
somewhere.
you told it, but
You told it on Don's podcast for sure.
What's that podcast called? You can go look it up if you're interested. It's the Sound
Cheat Coders Network.
Cheat Coders Network featuring Jonathan Gamra Gamer. I don't know if they riffed it. It's called the Cheat Coders. If you want to hear that story, you can go find it there. Anyway, what are you streaming, Mark? What's next?
Probably Sekiro, but I don't know if my heart is ready for that level of anxiety and pain.
What do you mean? Your heart is always ready for it, Mark.
It was pretty tough when I was going through Celeste, and that wasn't even the worst of it. So we shall see. I've never played like a Souls type game before, so we shall see what happens and how far I get. But
Let's see some
when it's
35s
already-
in the comments if you want to see Mark play Sekiro. I want to see some 35s.
35. Yeah, well, hopefully if that gets started, I'll need everybody to come and support me. So come join, watch me cry, etc., etc.
I'm still down for like silence and classical music.
Yeah.
And then you just have like an overlay for when Mark is angry. Like there's a fighting game streamer called Punko. Like whenever he starts getting on tilt, it just says angry now. We should just have like a red filter over the stream when Mark's angry, and then you just play some. You have like a playlist of just minor key songs, and then when you're angry, you switch to that playlist.
And like on your stream, it's triggered by decibel.
Yeah, that's genius, actually. Keyboard flying through the air while there's no actual audio.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
well,
definitely need
yeah.
a mark radar, no meter of some sort.
Get a heart rate monitor, I reckon.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
here's an idea.
If you could hook that up, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I'll look into it, actually. I'm really keen. Yep, well, that's me. That's my plan.
that's good. Tim,
Oh me, yeah, far out. I haven't been doing too much, to be honest.
What have you
Australian
been
gold-
watching, Segway? Boom, for the stream and no one on the Discord call?
Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't been doing too much. I've been watching One Punch Man season 2.
how did you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely nowhere near as good as the first season, and
Oh.
I think, yeah, they changed studios, right? I think it was.
Their budget got heavily cut. I don't know why, but they just got destroyed. And you can look, we're looking at this image comes courtesy of Anime News Network, and they've got like the promo art for season 2. And even the promo art is like you can see corners have been cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I get it because I decided to read the manga in my craziness. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna because I ended up doing this on Anzac Day, which is a public holiday for us. I was like, I'm just gonna read 100 chapters of One Punch Man and smash that out in a day. Yeah, and like it doesn't make any sense to have a big budget on this for season 2. It's just all character development. There's really not a lot happening.
Character development.
Yeah, I liked One Punch Man because it was kind of a bit of a taking the piss out of shonen, and then season
Yeah.
2 is actually it becomes like
An anime.
yeah, it becomes an anime in season 2. So it's like
One Punch Man slice of life.
yeah, almost I guess.
So you said it makes sense that the budget got cut, and like I don't like how did like that series did like mad well. So I went to look up like One Punch Man season 2 budget, and I found this quality post from myanimelist.net. Will One Punch Man S2 turn out to be suck?
even the comments have lower budget.
Yeah, it's just no one's doing well. But what do you reckon? Is it still worth watching?
Nah, not really. to be
How many
honest.
episodes are there at the moment?
3, I think 2 or 3. Yeah. Oh, maybe the 3rd episode came out. I don't know. I kind of like after seeing the first couple of episodes, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna read the manga because I saw a comment of someone saying, oh yeah, it makes sense like that they're not going to put much money because it's all character development and there's not a lot happening. And so I was like, all right, well, let's just see how legitimate this claim is. And yeah, it's a lot of like there's a massive introduction of characters and then a massive just not a lot is happening. Season 1 was good, and up to chapter whatever it was, like 50 or 60, which is like season 1 is pretty decent. But yeah, other than that, like I haven't been doing too much, just playing a little bit of games and doing a lot of climbing and working. The grind, the 9 to 5 grind. Yeah.
Just like closing off the One Punch Man. You guys can't see it, but on our overlay, there's like a thing that says objectionable content, intense.
And the release date, they call it the vintage. Like a fine wine. Or in this
Oh,
case, a
God.
fine goon, perhaps.
For those
wow.
not initiated into
Australian culture.
Cask wine, baby. What a concept.
Wine in a
Wine in a
bag.
box.
Wine in a box.
Boxed wine.
Wow.
I feel like that's a subscription service waiting to happen. Wine in a box. Guaranteed 3 hangovers per box.
I mean, yeah. That is it. Surely it's not just an Australian thing.
Nah, it's not. I've seen it here. But they're
Of course
cooked here, man.
They
They're
don't.
cooked.
They don't call it goon here.
That's what they call us, the foreigners. No, that's not true. Yeah, so season 2, like, they changed studio. I cannot figure out why, so I don't know. Let us know in the comments if anyone's watching live and can Google it. I don't know if you can do that, but
Ooh.
I can't find anything.
Wait, we got someone in the.
Yeah, we got Rue. I'm reading up on it.
Oh yeah, we did mention. By the way, if you're watching the archive of this, you can watch this show. You can watch the Kick On live every month at patreon.com/Consouls Band. If you're a gold member of higher, you can watch it live. If you're silver member or higher, you can submit questions, segments, all that good stuff. Yeah, we should mention it at the top of the show. But if you're 27 minutes in and you're still listening, hey, you can check this show out live. Anyway, yeah, that's what we've got going on in the Discord. But yeah, I guess it's just Julian. What have you been doing?
Oh man, I'm just looking at the comments. I've been getting my roommate and nearly anyone that goes to my place into Ultimate Chicken Horse still, and the meta keeps developing. It's definitely a party time. Like, so for those who are not aware, Ultimate Chicken Horse is pretty much multiplayer Super Mario Maker. It's party mode. Like each round you kind of interact. No, each round you kind of build something to either help yourself or negate other players from getting there. But man, it's cool. Like, just I won't talk about it too long, but my little update on it is like little like objects you create and you interact with each other. So let's say there's a crossbow or whatever that shoots a slow arrow. You'd have an arrow and then you have a fan that normally acts as a platform to send you up. But like it'll send the crossbow up diagonally. So there's all these like little things that we didn't realize until like you just play with more people and it becomes like sandboxy and fun because you get to see different types of people, who's destructive and whatnot. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But apart from Ultimate Chicken Horse, I'm gonna keep this spoiler free. But I was like waiting a whole year to watch Endgame and finally anyone into it or is anyone watching Endgame?
Yeah. I saw it already.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not going to see it, so I don't care.
Okay, yeah.
Where's Blitz?
Oh, hello.
Wait
I
for
got
the
some
ball.
Ultimate Chicken B-roll, even though we're talking about Avengers. There you go.
Yeah, I was waiting to watch it for ages and I was pretty happy with it. But like now even just around Shibuya and Shinjuku, like they're just playing the theme of Avengers everywhere, like everyone's Avenger. It's weird, but I don't know. It was good. I want to talk about it, but I can't because we have to save it for a month. For I don't know.
Let's just say whether you liked it, I liked it. Let's leave it at that.
It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable experience. And now I'm in Japan, going around having like coffee. There's some good places. Man, it's day kind of 3, and I haven't had anything from a vending machine yet. So
That's
I found
good
good
stuff.
coffee joints so far. There's ones that like were recommended to me from like Australian cafes that I go to. So they're like, yeah, go to this place in Japan. They do it better than us. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a weird.
Is that fact or is that not fact?
No, it was fact. It was so good. It was really good. And then
Yeah,
there's like
right.
one cafe called Insomnia, which is 24 hours. So like, I don't know. I'm gonna go on my like ever since I moved out of home, I live closer to the city in Sydney and just been on the grind with cafe hunting. So
Have you been to Ona yet?
Ona?
In Marrickville? Yeah, ONA.
ONA. Nah, but I have. There's a place in Marrickville I go to, Voodoo.
Okay.
But anyway, Marrickville's got plenty of stuff
Yeah.
to
Cool.
talk about. But yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, I'm here, Japan. To why am I here?
Oh yeah, we got shows. So let's start with the one that you can't go to because it's sold out. How about that?
Oh wow, we have a sold out show. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, man, I'm so annoyed. Anyway, let's talk about the show first before I derail it. It's called The Game Console Sessions, and it's in collaboration with a bunch of Japanese acts such as NES band KPL Craft, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, and YMCK, who are all chiptune artists / NES band, I believe, track on original hardware, and they're like a group of people who have like keyboards and they all play different parts. It's like a recreation of 8 and 16-bit stuff, but everybody is like a track. It's pretty cool. It's really like they've got a really nice dynamic among them. Anyway, we'll be playing with them next Sunday on May the 12th, but fear not, even though it is sold out, we will be streaming the entire show on twitch.tv/the Consouls Band. I don't know how it's going to play because it's like the way like Japanese gigs are a nightmare in terms of venue, so it's going to be like 30 minutes break. So I don't know how it's going to play live, but we are going to stream it. We'll probably put it up on our YouTube, and then everybody else will take their sets. So that'll be cool. YMCK as well, we should say. So we met YMCK at our gig last year here in Japan, and we sort of kept in touch. And we'll be doing. Well, I mean, I'll be there. We're trying to figure out how to get Julian there as well. We'll be doing a collab stream with them next Tuesday. So for those of you that don't know YMCK, their gimmick is they're like an NES band. They track on original Famicom. I think they use official, like an actual hardware. Anyway, they program the tracks like that, and then they have a vocalist on top of it. And every Tuesday night, so actually at time of recording, they're doing their live stream where they take, it's like an hour-long stream where they take the best of the chiptune stuff they find, and they talk about it like in a radio-style format. And next Tuesday night, Yokemura from YMCK will be teaching me how to track a proper like 8-bit thing using his plug-in Magical 8-bit, which is free, that he put out on Windows and Mac like 5 or so years ago. So we'll be streaming on our twitch.tv/the Consouls Band, and on their YouTube channel as well. I don't think they have a custom URL, so just search YMCK and give them a follow because they're sick. So in the lead up to that gig, we'll be doing that. That's the big one, but unfortunately that's sold out, so you can't catch it live. But we will be doing our best to like live stream it. Anyway, the thing I was going to complain about was I translated the gig info into English, and then it sold out before they bothered to copy and paste it, so I'm really sad. Anyway.
Yeah. But technically, people can catch it live if you do live stream it.
That's true, but now no one's ever going to go to that webpage, so it's just my hard work's never going to get copied and pasted into reality.
You can copy and paste it into the description for lols if you really want.
That's it. I'll be like, people came to this gig. If you were foreign and wanted to come to this gig, you would have read this. But we are doing a series of other gigs as well. So the gig we mentioned that we did last year was at Pico Pico Cafe, and we're doing a similar sort of show this year alongside some chiptune artists, Chibitech, well, actually Cheap Shot as well, but Cheap Shot I think is not chip necessarily, right? He does like Game Boy hardware.
Yeah, kind of chip, but like I guess within chip, he's a bit more rave style.
Yeah, I mean they both are. Like Chibitech and Cheap Shot are both like chippy, but like also like 8-bit. It's more like EDM through a whatever original hardware. As well as Rekadam, who are a duo of like our good friend Roger, who is a drummer friend of ours, and then his partner Jay, who will be doing vocals. So that'll be another 4-piece. I believe there are still tickets to that. Actually, I don't know if you can buy tickets. I think you get them at the door.
At the door.
Yeah, tickets are at the door for that one. It was a lot of fun last year, really intimate venue.
I think I still have videos. I'm trying to find them.
While he's trying to find the video of last year for that one, I'll play the trailer actually while I talk about it a little bit. We are working on trying to get a live stream for that as well, but that one's not confirmed. The 12th is confirmed. We're working on it for the 11th, but that'll be a good time. So check out Rekadam, Chibitech, and Cheap Shot if you want to know about, if you'd like to know more about that. Yeah, that'll be good fun. And of course, Mark's not here in Japan, so Dean will be subbing in for that. And we'll be doing a couple shows with him, and hopefully some other stuff. The live stream is not the only thing we want to do with YMCK, so we are working on some other stuff there, but we have nothing to announce just yet. So that is the Japan shows. It'll be a good time.
We had a question from Rue. He's asking how's progress getting the rest of the geeks on stream.
So it basically works like this. Look, anybody who's been following the consoles knows for any period of time knows that we've stuffed up enough live streams to get to a point where I can basically show up and troubleshoot anything, right? So I put the word out. I'm like, hey, this is all I need. You just need to give me a table that's this big and an Ethernet cable and space to point a camera, and we have a live stream. So Yokemura went, hectic. You can totally stream the 12th, and the 11th is like, I don't know. Like we put the word out. Look, the venue is very tiny in their defense, so I guess we're working on it.
Probably need someone to manually hold camera above.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like raving and dancing.
Like someone like XQ mentioned in the Patreon chat, EDM and the consoles. Basically, any collab gig you put us in, we just don't fit. Like, you got original hardware, like original Famicom stuff, video game jazz band.
Literally, the trailer just showed that for you.
We don't fit. That's what you're here for.
Yeah. It's alright.
So we'll have more info on that. I'm working on it slowly, but yeah, you at the very least you'll have more stories next episode. So that's Japan, and we're trying to work on other stuff, but at this point in time, that's all we got to announce.
Man, I'm a bit bummed I'm not coming along. But yeah.
You need to do it before Gamra moves back.
I do. Man, it's pretty funny though, because a lot of people asked me, like, oh, are you going to Japan? I'm like, no, why are you asking? It's like, oh, I saw that thing on Consoles about like gigs and stuff in Japan. I just assumed you were going to be there. I think because one of the trailer videos has a clip from Persona.
Yeah, we were just showing that.
And like, I'm playing, and it's just kind of like, anyone that's seen it has just been like, oh, so you're going to be in Japan. Like, yeah. It's pretty random.
I'll put a big X over you next time. Not in Japan. Like, just for any footage we use of you or Mark, just so it really gets the message across.
Or just put a still image of Tim.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Isn't that right, Mark, eh? You and your webcam, eh?
Yay. You got the best photo.
It's pretty good. I do like it.
Oh, man, I love that photo.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, man.
All right, so moving on.
Yeah, let's get into... So we mentioned on this show a little bit earlier on that if you're a patron at the silver or higher level, you can submit some questions and some segments to this podcast. And what do you want to do? Top three, bottom three first, or the question?
Oh, actually, I reckon question, because top three, bottom three goes on.
All right. So who submitted this question? What was this question? Anyone got it open? I don't have it open.
What question are we taking?
The question was, do you have any behind-the-scenes footage from the latest recording? In this case...
Stories?
Stories, that's it. That's the one. Yeah. So in this case, if you haven't seen it, our latest video is first steps from the video game Celeste, recorded at some point between 1 and 4 a.m. on January, while we were recording that early in the year of our Lord 2019.
I'm pretty sure that's the story.
Man.
Was anyone conscious enough to remember what happened on this shoot?
I just remember everyone's faces as we started the take for whatever time it was, and then just, come on, please, let this be the one.
Oh, man.
I just remember it was like long because most of the time, because this was one of the earlier ones we recorded, and in between each song, the set was being redone, because like, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, like for viewers, but a lot of what's happening with the videos for SMJ are lighting is kind of reflecting a lot of the color scheme of the game. So there was a lot of time that our videographer Jason was using to get the set ready, and that's why I think we all like got too switched / smashed out by just playing. But anyway, this set for Celeste took a while, and it was like pretty much like 1 a.m. or something when we started recording.
I want to so we're showing the B-roll on stream here. Just the first 5 seconds of this video, like everyone's looking down, everyone's like, God, I'm tired, and then it's like I'm bouncing up and down, like, yeah, I'm awake, we got this. But you look at the close-up of everyone, it's like everyone's half asleep. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh man, I was not happy with any of my takes on Celeste. I was just like, I just don't like playing alto sax. I'm gonna put that out there publicly for everyone. But yeah, there's that, and I was so cooked by this stage. I was just so done. And it was one of the harder charts for me to read too, just because of the key changes, and it's just, I don't know. Out of all the tracks to record from season 2, I feel like this was probably my hardest track, which is silly, but you know, considering Happy Kingdom should have been my hardest track, but
Happy Kingdom was a vibe. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that was a tune and a half. But Celeste, man, I was not feeling it. Also, I want to give a shout out to Jason, because I don't know if everyone knows, but yeah, for season 2 we switched videographers. So I just want to, like, that's why there's also a definite change in style between Game and Jazz, Zelda EP, and SMJ season 2. Yeah, which is why it was, I guess, like colors and set changes were, yeah, unexpected for us, which is why we ended up recording into the not so great hours of the morning.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Also,
Yeah,
Happy
sure,
Kingdom
yeah.
isn't out yet, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Get it early this Saturday at patreon.com/the Consouls Band. Actually, I don't have the final of it yet. I think it comes out this week. Hey, we did a Super Mario RPG tune. It's coming to Patreon, so if you want it early, you can get it there. Otherwise, I don't know when it's coming out. Some point soon.
Oh man,
35.
I just spoiled something, didn't I? Whoops.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure if you watch that episode, that was like I was a shoo-in that one. So, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, just incentive to be a patron.
Yeah. Totally. Jesus.
I like the aerial cam on Mark with this one. There's just like a lot of good Mark cam in this tune.
Yeah. Oh man, that aggression. I'm pretty sure there were many times during the recordings where Steven, our like sound engineer, oh, that's a cool shot. Our sound engineer was like, "Mark, don't be afraid. Just hit it, man. Just hit it. Just go in." Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
sure. I think I accidentally hit the overhead mic at one point as well. I can't remember.
just to
It's
give
just
the
like-
allure that you're hitting the drum kit harder, you just hit the mic instead.
Is this loud enough for you? Tapping the mic.
me. Let's just get some of like that action.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a fun recording though. I enjoyed myself, although I was dead tired.
That's it, eh? Like, the thing about doing this YouTube business is you just find more and more ways to make it harder for yourself. Like, you get used to doing something, and then you're like, all right, well, we don't have time, so how about we just record from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m.? Yeah, that sounds hard enough. Let's just do that 3 days in a row. How many tunes are we doing? What, 10? All right, let's do 10. That sounds good.
How many times have we played these songs?
Not 10? Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. More spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to the strawberry at the end. Jason called. So I'm the one who proofs the videos for this, and Jason's like, "Hey, so I played Celeste," and then there was this massive pause on the phone call, and I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, I want to put something on the video." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then he like sent it to me. I'm like, "Yeah, that's mad. Let's do that." But it was just like that. Hey, I played Celeste. Yeah, okay. Yep. Me too. I thought it was pretty average. What do you reckon? Like, can I say that? Are you allowed to say Celeste is an average video game?
Is
Because
that a spoiler?
I'm not reviewing video games, but I'll do it right here. Celeste is an average video game, and Towerfall is better.
I love Towerfall.
Ooh.
Oh man, we
Spicy
haven't played
take.
Towerfall in ages.
I think it's better than Celeste Free. What do you like? We all played it, right? Is it like, Mark? What do you reckon? You're a Celeste expert. What do you think? I reckon it's so much better than Celeste. I think Celeste is so average.
By the way, Mark, spoiler again. You're allowed to disagree with Gamra.
I'll just put a
Yeah,
more
I
incriminating photo of you on the stream. Don't worry about it.
I see the merits of Towerfall. Like, as a multiplayer game, it is phenomenal. But I rate Celeste better.
Why? Can you expand, please?
It's just the sheer challenge of it. Just the... Wait, I can't say. I was thinking of something very explicit.
Not that type of explicit.
I was just about to, compare the experience of playing Celeste to other activities in life.
Oh,
Go
wow.
on.
I'm intrigued.
Some unpleasant ones. No, just some unpleasant situations. But once you know,
No, I don't. I don't know, Mark. I don't know.
once you get out of those situations and you're finished, you're like, that was a good experience in retrospect. But not delving any further. But that's why Celeste is great. Man, I almost said it out loud too. I
So it's
almost
a
went
drug.
straight into that. No, it's actually not what I was thinking of at all.
No,
but that's
I'm
good.
trying to save your ass.
Yeah, well, I have nowhere to go with this.
The point is that, look, someone in the chat said watching Mark playing Celeste was so great. You're right. Because Mark, type the 35s in the comments, is the best streamer of all time, and you could watch him play literally anything. That's a challenge, Mark. Literally anything, and it would be great.
Oh,
It's not a compliment about Celeste. That's a compliment about Mark, and you know it. Hey, you know it. Towerfall is better.
No. Nah. We'll go Celeste is better, but I can't really explain why until I'm off camera.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for the spicy bee take somewhere when I've just gone off the rails completely in my streaming career.
Mark off tempo. Maybe we should have a challenge. Try and find a game where Mark, find a crappy game that.
Done.
Oh yeah, you're
I got crap games for days.
that Mark. Mark, we need to find something that he can't be entertaining with, but I don't think we can find that.
I'm sure there are dating sim games. Like, what the heck?
Dating
Hey,
sims
there's
are
an idea.
rubbish.
I want to see Mark.
Exactly. How can Mark make that entertaining?
Oh, I don't
Mark's
know,
got
it's
some
a
great
hard one.
comments.
Oh, but if, you gotta filter it. What?
Oh, I just read what XP said.
Like,
Yeah, I
you
read it
think
too.
about the people who play dating sims, right? Like, we're an internet band, right? So you get people who come off the internet and come see us in person, and you get some, eccentric characters. But if I was talking to someone and like, what kind of games you like playing, they said dating sims, that's when you, slowly start backing away, and you're packing the base up and you're, running your car type. That's dating sim. Nah, man, I can't. Dating sims, they're all terribly written, even in their source language. Even if you play them on the moon, they're terrible. There's nothing good about dating sims.
It's just like a choose your own adventure novel at that point. You just want to get the optimal path, just to say that you've
What if you
done it.
chose to play a better video game? How about that?
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
the
true.
optimal path, Mark.
Oh yeah. Well, you can play other games that have dating sim elements to them, but aren't.
Fire Emblem.
Persona or Fire Emblem. But Fire Emblem sucks. Advance Wars is better. That's another hot take. Actually, I don't think that's hot. I think everybody deep down knows Advance Wars is better than Fire Emblem, and they just don't want to admit it because Advance Wars is never coming back.
To be real, I hate Fire Emblem because of the RPG elements.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You don't
Yeah,
like
it's not no. That triggers the completionist within me. I'm like, oh, can't let anyone die. I don't know if that's a thing in the games, but just we gotta have this an optimal run. No one I like can die during this battle, and then replay. Oh, I'm
Hey,
sick of the game now.
everyone's played Fire Emblem here, right? Some Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Here's a challenge. Name a female character in a Fire Emblem game over the age of 14.
Did I even give ages in the game?
I think, for the really spicy ones, they're yeah, she's reincarnated as a 14-year-old, but she's actually 4,000-year-old dragon. It's yeah, all right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Okay.
that character.
No worries. No worries. Nah, it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. Especially the 3DS ones onwards, when it comes to that side of things, I just found it, so obnoxious.
It's
Yeah,
always
I've
that's
only
always the case. Sorry, was that Tim? You've only played which one?
I was just saying, I've only played Awakening. But I think that was my first and last iteration of the Fire Emblem games. Yeah. I found the pairing thing a bit weird. I thought that was a norm. I didn't realize that was a new mechanic, and I was like, interesting.
There was a mini game in that game where you could like pat them on the head, right? Like you could, you know how like in Pokemon you could like, no, it was the the stylus, and then the hearts come up. I'm pretty sure that like it got censored for the West, but there's like a mini game where you can just hang out with people and like pull out a stylus and poke them with it. I swear I'm not making this up. I swear. Chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear that this was a thing in at least one of the 3DS Fire Emblem games.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it was for Awakening, but I vaguely remember seeing that in an article about one of the 3DS Fire Emblem games. I feel like it was one of the more recent-ish ones. But yeah.
It could have been the one with the multiple, like Birthright, Conquest, what Fates.
Yes,
that's the one. Fates. It could have been Fates. But I stopped caring after Awakening. I played Awakening because I'd already spent the money on it. And then I'm like, I'm just going to spread the good word of Advance Wars for the rest of my life.
How does, what was that other one on
Wargroove?
Yeah, how's that compare?
Oh, man. They were like, hey, we got some bug fixes. And I'm like, all right, see when it's done. Then I stopped. I heard the single player and it was kind of like BS with the Fog of War, where it was basically like the AI can see your map and you can't, so you're guessing. And I'll get back to it, but I'm just gonna let them fix it. Like they're an indie team, so give them some time, I guess. But it seems okay. But the art is definitely not as good as Fire Emblem and Advance Wars.
No, it's definitely along the same vein. But yeah, I have the same criticism as, you're playing a campaign level and then halfway through they're like, oh, it's an ambush, and then like 3 units from the left, 3 units from the right, like, oh, I'm in a terrible position and there's nothing I could have done to foresee this coming except replay the level again and anticipate the little surprise. Yeah, it's a bit weird like that in a lot of the levels, but maybe I'm just nitpicking.
And Advance Wars could have had that too. Like I just don't remember. Like, I remember Dual Strike had a bit of it, but I just remember going through Wargroove and thinking it was a lot more egregious. And you have to, like, there's an S rank, you got to do, like, certain requirements for every mission, and they lock, I think, it's either, like, modes or characters behind it or something. Like, something quite critical to, if you want to play multiplayer properly, like, you got to do all that rubbish. And so I went, you guys can balance it and I'll come back later. And I will play it because it is cool and people have been clamoring for Advance Wars stuff. But I'm like, if you just fix it. You got my money, just fix it. I'll come play it later.
Yeah, just give it a bit of time.
I see.
Top 3, bottom 3?
Yep.
Do we have time?
We got time. We need top 3, bottom 3 like a jingle.
With a spinning logo.
Yep. And it's actually just Mark's photo just spinning around. This beautiful photo of Mark just going around and around.
Can someone animate that, please?
And make it done. I got that. Definitely. Anyway, top 3, bottom 3. What are we doing this week, Tim?
So, based off the last podcast, I think Rue suggested a good one.
Where did Rue suggest? Where did she put that suggestion in again?
Through our what's it called, Patreon. You can submit because I think Rue is
if I was to go to the internet, what URL link would I type in to find that Patreon?
What was that? Sorry.
Where can I find the Patreon? Is it at patreon.com/the Consouls Band?
I believe it is. Okay,
so it's patreon.com/the Consouls Band.
Yeah. Patreon.com/the Consouls Band.
Thank you very much. Continue.
All right. So the segment, so the top 3, bottom 3 is going to be top 3, bottom 3 hours in a 24-hour time frame. So I guess we're talking like 1 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 a.m., whatever.
0 to 59, right? That like those hour blocks. None of this 9:15 to 10:15 business.
No. Hour blocks.
Okay.
Hour blocks. No.
I already know which one the bottom one is.
All right, go.
Oh yeah.
Go.
3 p.m. Oh my god. The worst.
All right, so we got school zones. What else are we dealing with?
That's an Australian only thing, hey.
But we're also dealing with the halfway period between having lunch and then going home for the day, where you're absolutely starving and the energy levels have hit rock bottom.
Look, I would put 3 p.m. as a bottom 3, I think. I was actually going to put as my bottom 4 a.m.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, go on.
Because usually by 4 a.m., there's nothing good happening. Like if you're out, right? Things are kind of wrapping up. But it's also too late to like get a decent amount of sleep. And it's also, if you do wake up at 4 a.m., it's also too early to do anything. So it's kind of like this dead zone where it's, oh, well, I'm awake. Oh, well, what else is there to do? I can try to go back to sleep, but it's not really worth going back to sleep because then you're going to ruin your REM cycles. And if you're out, it's like, well, you know, what do I do at 4 a.m.? I'm either going to stay where I am and wait it out or like hate myself for the next 2 hours. I don't know.
4 a.m. is definitely that time where you're spending like 60 minutes of your life talking about how you should have gone home an hour ago. Even here, like 4 a.m. nothing is open, so you're sitting in like a Wendy's or a Denny's going, all right, I can stay awake till first train. I can stay awake till first train. I can stay awake till first train. It's just, you're right. I think that is a hot contender for bottom 3. But it's just early enough that if you wake up at 4, you're like, yeah, I can stick this out till 7. Like, mate, that's 3 hours. That's a long time.
It's terrible. True.
Actually, in terms of Japan, I feel like 4 a.m. is a turning point. Once you hit 4 a.m., you've committed to you're going to stay up the whole time.
Oh, 1:30 is, because 1:30 is like the significant. That's like, all right, last trains are gone. You're in. After last, like, you know, the people who are out after last trains, hey, you know what they're there for, all right? Like, they've committed to the evening. But 4 a.m. is like, you're walking out, everyone's getting kicked out of the izakayas, everyone's just littered on the floor, head down in their own vomit, and you're just like, all right, where's Wendy's? I got to go to Wendy's and watch YouTube videos until my first train. So I could see that. I think 4 a.m. is a hot contender for bottom 3.
Is 4 a.m. in correlation with Mark's opinion of Celeste?
With Mark's opinion of?
Celeste.
Okay, I won't go further into that.
I reckon it's a lock. What do you reckon? I reckon that's a lock for bottom 3. I'm going to write this down.
4 a.m.
See, I would
3 p.m.
Yeah,
3 p.m. You're right. You guys reckon? You agree with 3 p.m.?
I reckon it's a bottom 3. Like when you talk about it in relation to meal times and end of work, it's not a great time. Like, and 3, you know, the whole 3:30-itis kind of thing, right? It's like when lunch was just long enough ago that your stomach is like digesting it and you're just low on energy and you feel tired and you kind of want to go to sleep, but it's not the time, especially if you're at work.
I have one argument to put 3 p.m. back on the radar. This depends on everyone's caffeine intake, but that's round 2.
Oh yeah, I guess so. My round 2 though is like 1:30.
Yeah, mine's 1:30. Like coming out of the lunch break, like I can, because 1 o'clock you come out of your lunch break usually. Like I can do the afternoon without a coffee. I don't need one. And then 1:30 you've given up and you're having your second coffee.
Yeah, that's usually me.
That's definitely me every day.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I feel like my body clock is like plus 2 hours of everyone's.
Like the thing with me though is that 3 p.m. is not bottom for me because 3 p.m. on a weekend, like it's a great day. If it's a great day and you're out, 3 p.m. is like a good time. Like it's like there's nothing wrong with 3 p.m. on the weekends, and there's nothing wrong with 3 p.m. when you have nothing to do. It's like, you know, there's still enough sun. It's just after like the high levels of UV radiation for those of you living in Australia. So you're not going to get you're not going to get sunburnt. You're not going to get sunburnt if you're out. It's just warm enough. It hasn't cooled down enough, like too much if it's in summer, and even if it's in autumn, same thing. It's like you still have like a little enough warmth from the sun to make 3 p.m. like a nice kind of chill out kind of time on the weekend. That's my opinion, which is why I wouldn't put it bottom. But 4 a.m. any day of the week, terrible.
What if we pushed 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.? And here's why. You say 3 p.m. is the halfway point between going home and lunch, which means like when you're staring at that vending machine, you're like, I'm going to get that crunch bar. It's like, all right, like you got a couple hours. But 4 p.m. is like, you're not close enough to going home where you can just stop doing work, but you can't eat because dinner's close enough. You can't leave now because traffic's already bad. Like you're already done. Like roads are cooked. You're not going anywhere. and everything you've said still applies. And on weekends, you're thinking, like Sunday 4 p.m., you're like, all right, I got to start thinking about prepping my dinner. I got to start thinking about what I'm going to do this week. I got to start thinking about that sort of thing. And Saturday, you're like, oh no, it's almost adult time. I have to go out and like socialize with people. So I reckon if we push it to 4 p.m., then that would be a bottom 3 contender as well. But I don't know what you guys think about that.
I completely agree.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
I think I'd side more with 4 p.m. over 3 p.m. as the bottom 3.
All right, so
I
get
would
stuff
bump
for
out
then.
3 p.m.
4 a.m., 4 p.m., eat it.
Yeah, for
We don't like 4s, apparently.
I want to give a shout out to 11 o'clock. I feel like that's a really, as in 11 a.m. I feel like 11 a.m. is a really easy lock for top 3.
That's my top 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Would you like to expand? Go nuts.
11 a.m. What can I say?
Brunch.
All right.
Brunch?
Yeah, exactly. But besides brunch, it's just all right. It's 11 a.m. Regardless if it's a work day or a weekend, it's a good time. You still have enough. You're like awake enough, right? So you're functional, and you've had breakfast. It's kind of close to lunch, but by then you're like, oh, I could have an early lunch because it's like brunch time. If you wanted to eat early, it's just a golden hour. Like, and on weekends, if you sleep in, it's a great time to wake up. Yeah, 11 a.m. is a good time for me to wake up. I can sleep in till 11 a.m. and I still have like the afternoon. I can still do stuff. The whole day is not completely written off. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like the perfect time. It's just 11 a.m. is a great time. And if you've been awake before 11 a.m., you still had time to do stuff. And when you get to 11 a.m., it's like, yeah, man, I've done a lot of stuff and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. This is freaking awesome. I don't know. That's my argument for 11 a.m. But for me, I thought about this. I was like, that's probably my top 1. It was 11 a.m.
The world really is your oyster for that golden 60 minutes. No matter what choice you've made in the time leading up to 11 o'clock, it's always a good time. You never feel bad at 11 a.m. Never.
I agree. That's how I feel, at least, about 11 a.m.
Yeah, fair enough. I honestly don't know what I put for the other two, or like I don't really feel too strongly in favor of any particular hour. I think I'm not thinking hard enough about it, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I want to give a shout out to 2 time periods. I want to know what you guys think of this. One of them is going to be pretty polarizing. I feel like one of them is a lock. The safe one is 8 to 9 p.m. because roads die down. It's still an acceptable time to eat a meal. If you've eaten a meal and you're a functioning adult that goes to bed on time, you can still do things in the evening. And like if you have kids or like you're around young people, you can throw them in bed and start doing whatever dumb things you want to do as an old person. Like it's just, I think, really underrated as a time period, 8 to 9 p.m.
That's also like if you're at a Consouls gig, prime time.
That's it. We're like just parking and we're just getting ready to start.
That's when we peak. We peak at 8 to 9.
I actually agree with you at 8 p.m. For those exact reasons. For me, 8 p.m. is usually my dinner time, like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Depending on what I'm doing, I guess. If I'm coming straight from work, then I have, I guess, what people would consider a normal dinner time of like 6 or 7. But if I'm out and about, usually 8 p.m. is like a pretty regular dinner time for me. And it's not too late that like you've left dinner too late and you're starving, but it's not too it's not too early either. That by the time like 11 p.m. rolls around, you're like, oh man, I'm hungry again. Or at least that's how I feel if I have dinner at 6. Yeah.
Okay.
My other one, and this is a polarizing one, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
As
Top 3.
Mm.
You can exercise. If you're driving, you're missing a lot of peak hour. You're like, you've made some good decisions leading up to that point, and if you haven't, it's a good time to reflect on why you're up playing Fantasy Life Mobile till 2 a.m. the night before. It's a time of reflection, I feel, no matter what you've been doing. I really like 6 a.m. I think it's a really good time, but I understand it's not for everybody.
I feel like 6 a.m. is a matter of consent. Like, if you choose to be awake at 6 a.m., brilliant. If you're forced out of bed at 6 a.m., no, that's really bad.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I 100% agree. I think it's
Proper
it's
chat.
circumstantial and like contextual. Like to me, 6 a.m. is anxiety inducing potentially, depending why you have to get up. It's like, oh man, I have to get up at 6 a.m. It's like 6 a.m. determines everything from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. I feel like the night before.
Yeah, because you got to factor it in. Yep.
Yeah, so like 6 a.m. is conditional.
I have to put.
Go on, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I have to put 6 a.m. as a mid tier. It's not top 3. It's not bottom 3.
As
in
long
my
as it's not
opinion.
bottom 3, I'll take it. It's definitely not bottom 3. There's no way.
Yeah,
I'd say mid low though, mid low, because to be honest, like the anxiety of having to wake up at 6 a.m. or close to 6, like the night before, is a bit like, oh, shit. I have to get to bed by this time if I want 8 hours. It's like, oh crap. And then, that time rolls around. You're like, oh man, it's like midnight. I've got a big day tomorrow and I've got to be up at 6. Like, over GG. I'm not gonna get enough sleep. But I do agree that if you choose to wake up at 6 a.m., great time. Absolutely fantastic. If we were on the half-hour marks, but we're not, I would say 5:30 is better than 6, but 6 o'clock is close enough.
But hold on, as a counter, because I think the arguments, it depends how you look at it, because the way I'm viewing it is 6 a.m. as a factor in relation to other hours. Same for if you take the positive. So if you exercise at 6 a.m., it makes 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 so much better. But then it's 6 a.m. like is the hour of 6 a.m. top tier.
No, definitely not. That's why it's mid-low for me. It's
You're all crazy
definitely
people.
mid. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I used to love waking up at 6 when I was a child, but as I got older, 6 a.m. is a terrible time.
Yeah, there's something about waking up at Saturday at 6 a.m. and playing Harvest Moon for 9 hours in a row.
Yeah, you're getting up because a lot of the cartoon shows started at 7 a.m., right? So you're getting up, you're geeing yourself up, you've eaten your dry cornflakes, and you're sitting in front of the TV, you're ready to go. I think it's a magical time of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would push that to 7 a.m. What your 6 a.m. is to you is my 7 a.m.
Not enough time. You're too rushed at 7. You're going too quickly at 7 a.m.
It depends when you have to be at work, though. I don't know. Like, for me, I can wake up at 7:30 and still kind of feel like I've had a easy morning into work. And then on weekends, I'm not that opposed to waking up at 7 a.m. Even if I choose to wake up at 7 a.m., it's like, yeah, 7 a.m. is acceptable. I don't know, for me, if I'm thinking like holistically in the week. Whereas 6 a.m. on a weekend is like, why? Why am I even bothering to be up at 6 on a weekend, And on on the weekdays, I know there's only 2 days a weekend, but on like the other 5 days, 7 a.m. to me is still, oh yeah, that's okay. It's not too bad. I don't have as much anxiety about having to wake up at 7 a.m. as I do having to wake up at 6. It's kind of like, well, I guess I can get to bed at like 11:30, and that's close to 8 hours, and that's kind of all right. But when you look at 6 a.m., it's like, oh, fuck, I have to be in bed by 10. And then when it gets to 11, it's like, now I definitely have less than 7 hours. And then you're like, oh, crap. Then for me, I can't sleep. It's like midnight rolls around. It's 6 hours. Like, come on, man. What am I doing to myself? I don't know. But that's based on my own sleeping and waking cycles, I guess.
What about the most polarizing 60 minutes? I don't know where this one's going to fall, but then it needs to be brought up. 9 a.m.
Oh,
That's hard. I don't know where to put it.
I see you on 9 a.m. It's like bodies start like, day is starting like theoretically. If you're not too tired, that's like the best your mind's going to be able to do throughout the day, and then just deteriorates over the time you're awake.
Like if we were to do this over 7 days, like Monday to Sunday, as like a top 3, bottom 3, bottom 1 would be Monday 9 a.m. No question, right?
yeah.
And I feel like that has to be brought into consideration here. That's just Can we delete? If we could delete that 60-minute block, you know how much better life would be for everyone.
But I guess it's only that for 9 to 5ers. Monday 9 a.m. You know. But it is like the absolute worst time of the week.
But YouTube videos do come out, like a lot of people do Monday 9 a.m. So that is one point in favor of it. We don't do that because we're not animals, but some people do.
Okay. Let's see. Speaking of YouTube, where does weird YouTube o'clock come into the ranking, and what time would that be? Like the rabbit hole of
Oh no!
really strange YouTube videos. What is that, like 1 a.m.?
Yeah,
2
I was going to
a.m.?
say 1 a.m. 1
I
a.m.
feel
Why?
like 1 a.m. is top 3. I feel like 1 a.m. that's when you're having the deep and meaningfuls. You're googling like, what is the best kick 2017 on YouTube? Like that's just when all the magic happens. I really feel like 1 a.m. is a special time.
Yes. 1 a.m. is the kick on. It is the kick on.
The official time. Should I post this at 1 a.m.? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%. That's when the truth comes out. When people are just tired enough for them to start speaking their hearts and saying the weird stuff.
But also,
Actually, sorry. I was going to say.
You go.
Oh man,
Discord podcasts, everyone.
Yeah, man. Yeah, best. I was just gonna say, sorry. Basically, I agree. I agree with 1 a.m. being. I would put it top 3. I would be 3. It wouldn't be 2, but it would be 3. It would like scrape in for me. It's a good hour. If you're up at 1, you know what you're in for. It's kind of like, you know.
Yep.
I have many good memories at 1 a.m. I would definitely put it as a number 3 personally. I don't know how. Like I'd be ready to lock that. I'd be ready to lock our top 3 right now.
What's our top 3? Sorry.
As it stands, it would be 11 a.m., 8 p.m., 1 a.m., and I think that's correct. I think that is objectively the best 3 hours of the day.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can get behind that too. Yeah, I agree.
Lock it in.
Wait, we're actually like all agreeing to something.
Well, it's correct. Like it's factual. Of course, we're agreeing. It's correct.
Yes. Yeah, these are the generalists, the ones that just work every day of the week. None of this Monday doesn't count, but yeah, they work in every situation. That's why they're S tier.
I just can't believe. Like, I think in previous podcasts, there's always been like some contention, but someone's had to concede.
To be fair, we've done one of these, right? The first episode was a mess, so we've done one. There's the sample size of one other episode. But you are right. We do tend to argue a lot.
I think it's mainly food we all argue.
Made up vegetables.
Oh gosh, okra, bit of melon. Shout outs to you guys.
All right, let's get this bottom 3 done. 4 a.m., 4 p.m. I feel like there's an obvious one we're missing. What about 8 a.m.? 8 a.m.'s... Oh, but we've 8 p.m. now. I don't want to... Leave 8 alone. It's a good number.
What do we feel about like clock off time, 5 p.m.?
That's...
I don't like it. I
bottom
hate
3.
5 p.m. I hate it.
Yeah, 5 p.m. is good.
It's a lie. 5 p.m. is a lie. Because you're off the clock, sure, but then you got to go home. And if you said to me, like, especially at my current job, if I could just work another hour and skip the part where I have to go home and just teleport home, I would. I would voluntarily work an extra hour to get out of doing the commute home. That's how strongly I feel about commuting, which is why I would agree with 5 p.m. at bottom 3.
I guess that's hard. Like, because I'm always driving against the traffic, like to get home from wherever I'm going. So like, if I finish at 5, it's like, hell yeah, I'm done and I'm going home. It's like, you can't keep me here any longer. I'm gonna just drive home. Yeah. But I can see your point. Like generally, when I wasn't driving against the traffic, it was the worst time.
What if we pushed it to 6? Because, all right, let's say you finish. Let's say you got home. Let's say your commute home's good. You want to get some chicken on your way home. You know who else wants to get chicken on their way home? Everybody. You want to go to the grocery store on your way home. You want to know who gets groceries on the way home? Everybody. You want to drive? You want to know who else wants to drive? Everybody. It's a bad time.
Yes. Yeah. I have no personal qualms against 6 p.m. It's like, it's bad, but not overly bad. It's like, It's like dog poop in the car, but you can't quite locate it. It's like just feels bad in general, but it's not strong enough to make you feel like this sucks. I don't know. It's okay, but not okay at the same time.
I want to go back to 5 p.m. just because like you get this glimmer of false hope knowing that you finished, but then knowing that you have to go back like you need to drive, get all this stuff done depending on what your house chores are. You kind of you kind of misled. I want to know what's happening at that time. There's too much variables at 5 p.m.
Yeah. No, look, I'm just trying to think if there's a worse time than 5 p.m.
I literally have my clock app open. Like that's how much I'm racking my brain here. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Well, for starters, 5 p.m. versus 4 a.m., which is worse?
4 a.m.
Yeah, 100% for me.
Because there's no decision being made at 5 p.m. You have to do it. It's an obligation.
Okay. But what tops 4 a.m.? That's a hard one. If we start from midnight, and we pit all of them against 4 a.m., I think we're going to be hard pressed to find one that's worse.
I don't like 7 a.m. I really like, especially as somebody who eats a lot. 7 a.m. I'm just too rushed. I never get up at 7 a.m. and make it to where I need to be. It's not a pleasant morning at 7 a.m. It's just a morning. And you're constantly thinking, like, was that extra hour worth it? What if I got up at 6 a.m.? What if I went for that run, you know?
Nah, I'd go 5 p.m. worse than 7 a.m. any day of the week.
All right, I could believe that.
Same.
I'll go with that.
Because our bottom three at the moment is 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. right?
Yep. For me, it's 5 or 6. Like those 2 hours of the day, I don't want to exist. I just don't want to be anywhere because everybody is somewhere. Whereas 7 o'clock onwards, like everybody's gone home. You can come out of your house again. You can go pick up that like strawberry jelly from the supermarket if you want it. You can do whatever you want. But those 2 hours is chaos.
Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that. For me, I think I would put 4 a.m. as my number one. I can't see anything worse than 4 a.m. right now, but I could be swayed with a good argument.
I think 4 a.m. is our number one. It's just a question of finding the third hour, I think, right?
Yeah, because 4 a.m. like trash tier, 4 p.m. like close second, and then like the third of. I think this is hard. I don't know. I think 5 or 6. I feel like I would go 5, but then when you think about the weekend, like if you're making plans, I don't know. Is it worse to get? I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Because like 6 objectively, I think on weekdays is slightly better because generally the traffic's died down a little bit. So if you do leave work at 6, it's all right. And you know, like you're either eating dinner or like prepping for, like, you know, like dinner is close at hand if it's 6 p.m. So you're not stuck in that kind of like hangry state at 5. But yeah, then on weekends and stuff, like I think 5 p.m. is like decent because it's kind of like, well, what's happening like this evening? You know, I'm going to plan out the rest of my evening from 5. Like, where am I going to eat dinner? Am I going to go out? Am I going to stay in? You know, you can kind of like prep your weekend, like your evening at 5. Whereas at 6, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, if I'm still at home and I want to go eat dinner, depending on how far the drive is, it's like, you know, if it's like an hour away, if you're going to go somewhere to eat, it's like, oh, okay, well then, all right, and then I have to get ready and drive, and then it's like 7:30, 8-ish, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like you can get stuff done at 5 p.m. on a weekend. Like, you can kind of like plan better at 5 p.m. on a weekend.
I'd give it to 6 p.m. I think you're right.
Like, I think 6 p.m. is probably overall slightly worse. At least like at 5 on a weekday, it's like, fuck yeah, work's done. So you feel slightly good. And then it's like 5 and 6 are just dead zones on weekdays generally.
Okay, I think there's a really good way to do this if we break it down by 7 days, right? So let's go by 5 p.m. Monday, 5 p.m., great, I'm off. Tuesday, 5 p.m., I'm off. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 p.m., hectic. Friday, 5 p.m., I feel like is an underrated time of the day we haven't really discussed, but I think that in itself like actually boosts 5 p.m. quite a bit because the liberation you get at 5 p.m. is like unreal. Whereas you contrast it to 6 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. So much can go wrong. You could be caught in traffic. You could be eating dinner with like an elderly generation being like, man, it's 6 o'clock. I don't want to be eating dinner this early. At Friday at 6 p.m., if you're thinking about Friday 6 p.m., that means you're either still working, you're in traffic, and you're definitely not where you want to be. And on weekends, like you said, Friday 5 p.m., not too bad. Or Saturday, Sunday 5 p.m., not too bad. Sunday 6 p.m., you're like, oof, I got to turn off the phone and I got to start getting ready for the week. I really think you might be onto something. I think 6 p.m. might be the time.
Yeah, that's what I feel. 6
And the
p.m.
news. You have to watch the news at 6 p.m. That's terrible. Nobody wants to do that.
Yep, pack her up, boys.
That's
We
it,
got
we're
it.
done. Finished.
4 a.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m. Like bottom three.
The revelation.
Nice. I'm happy with that. I'm actually really happy with that.
That's a good list.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm convinced.
We should put a page on like maybe this should be the consouls.com/opinions that are correct, and it's just the top 3, bottom 3 of every episode.
With like a long essay with citations of like why exactly.
And if there's like a report issue button or like submit amendments here, and if you click it, you get banned from the website.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Just get locked out.
All right, let's go over it one more time. Our top 3 hour-long periods of the day are 11 a.m. in first place, followed by a very, very hard-fought bout by 8 p.m. And in third place, we have 1 a.m. where dreams are made of. And our bottom 3 in not even a close competition, I would say. 4 a.m. Trailed slightly by 4 p.m. and the dreaded 6 p.m. as our third worst hour of the day in a 24-hour period.
Yep.
Yeah, well done.
I really feel like we made a difference here today. Like I really feel like we've just made some progress for like humanity, and we've just gotten somewhere like closer to where they need to be, you know. So I think we've done well. But
Pats on the back.
yeah, pats on the back. We did good.
Good job, Mark. You're looking good.
Yeah, you use that stick, Mark. You get right down there. Do you guys have any closing remarks before we end this month's edition of the podcast? Anybody? Hey, go to the shows, or if you're not going to go to the shows, twitch.tv/theconsoulsband. How about that?
I was just going to give a shout out to Rue for suggesting hour in a 24-hour time frame. That was a wholesome top 3, bottom 3.
And you can submit your own at patreon.com/theconsoulsband at silver or higher. Let us know, because apparently this is where the good console content comes from. Forget the music; it's opinions that are correct.
I like it. That could be the subpage on the consouls.com. Yeah.
What about you, Mark? You got anything?
Nah, nothing. I'm very happy with the work we've done. Thanks, boys. It's been an honor.
Julian, got anything?
Oh, I'm happy.
All right.
I just want the next.
Yeah, well, it's April 30th as of time of recording. We probably should have said that at the top of the show. So we'll have more info on the May episode of the Kick On, and you can, of course, watch it live at patreon.com/theconsoulsband, where you can submit segments, questions, whatever you want at the silver tier, and watch it live at the gold tier, or later at youtube.com/theconsoulsband, and soon TM on podcast services. We're working on it. Art is currently being done and will be up as soon as possible. You can catch the video every second week, youtube.com/theconsoulsband. It's actually not every second week, it's more frequent now, but like, you know, the music stuff. And we got gigs coming up, so check the vlog on YouTube. It's like May 8 and 9 at Koenji Substore, May 11th, Pico Pico Cafe, Kokubunji, and not Kokubunji, Kishijoji, and Ichibe on May 12th, but get stuffed because it's sold out, so you can't watch that one.
But you can watch it live.
Yeah, you can watch it live, twitch.tv/theconsoulsband. Just go there, and instead of buying a ticket, sub or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to do it for us this week. We got a ton of stuff coming up. So make sure you're following the Twitch and the YouTube because like we're going to be pumping out some good Oriental themed content over the next couple of weeks.
Moon song.
Yeah, moon songs.
Moon song.
That's too good.
That just means we play everything really slow at like half tempo. That'd be mad. That'd be a really good request show. We just play everything at half tempo.
Moon drops.
That's it.
Moon drops.
Like, because like if you're playing EDM, right, the song drops on a. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's like wait for it, wait for it. Well, it's almost wait for it. All right, there's the kick.
Go on.
You get like a little break.
I love it.
But yeah, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. Leave comment suggestions in the YouTube comments on it, whatever. We'll be back at some point in May with the next episode.
Till then.
Thanks for watching.
Gotcha. Bye.